One of the things that I can't stand is when I'm going out of my way to ask for help. I'm in a time of need, and a stranger these days, I understand they have the right to not help you, but it's the principle of things. Because they could have a son, a daughter, a brother in a situation where they would want someone to give a helping hand out to them. They would want somebody to help that relative too. But they themselves won't want to help somebody else. What goes around could also come around. Be careful how you treat people. I'm even being careful because there's things that I've regretted. There's times I was in the wrong. I could admit this for myself. I could hold myself accountable. A lot of people can't, unfortunately. Now, I brought this up before from one of my previous videos. There was a case where I was driving to my college. The college that I go to is Trident Technical College, TTC. It's a public community college in South Carolina. There was a bookstore that I was planning to go to that day. I was going to get some stuff for my wife and I with my financial aid. I'm driving around. I got lost. I don't know what, I forgot where the bookstore was, but I remember what my wife told me. She told me it was not too far. It's across from one of the buildings on the campus grounds, right? So I got lost and I needed some directions, some guidance to physically see and better understand where the location of the bookstore is. Okay, I'm driving around. I'm well presentable. I'm driving in a nice car. I don't look like a robber, a thug, or a dude who's just a player who's trying to holler at women. I'm not doing none of that. Now, there's a young woman on her phone. Um, she's about between 18 to 21 years old. She's just on her phone, like just texting away. You would think with her standing by one of the buildings, she wouldn't be worried. I'm pretty sure she was just waiting for an Uber or waiting for someone to pick her up. I mean, I'm over with what happened, but when I saw her, I was like, good, a Samaritan. She's on campus. She has her backpack on. She's a student here. Let me ask her for help. I put the window down and I'm like, excuse me, miss. I waved my hand. I yelled. I raised my voice. I was respectable. The first thing that she did, she turned around to see if I'm talking to somebody else behind her, to play stupid in front of my face. She looked at me. She knew that I was talking to her. She's seen how I looked. She's seen the car I'm driving. And she looked right down on her phone. That would piss off anybody. That was so rude and so disrespectful. I don't know in her right mind, she was thinking, with how the way she was dressed, she probably was thinking I was trying to holler at her or get her number. You are not all that. And second of all, at the same time, it's not that she's all that either. You're nothing and you're not special. Social media has truly damaged how a lot of people think, especially women. Because I understand you being a woman by yourself. You're young, you're attractive to a lot of men, right? You may think that other men from your experience is after you. But there's genuinely a lot of people that are not looking for that. They just need the help. I ended up just annoyed when she did that. Like, I was just annoyed. I was pissed. She's not entitled to help me, but it's the fact on the attitude, the obnoxious attitude she had, her demeanor, her body language. It screamed, ugh, I'm not helping you. I don't want to help you. I don't need to help you. But let I have been her type of guy. I was driving a Bentley or a sports car. I had glasses on. I looked like I got money. Best be assured, the way she looked, she'll be the type of woman that would come up to me, smile, and only have the intentions of using me for my money. Now you're interested in helping me? Now you're interested in talking to me? You see how messed up that is, right? You could be in a situation where you're stuck. You could be in a situation where you're hitchhiking. But because of how the person looks, I understand you have to always go by your instincts, right? You also have to take the time to understand that everybody does not have an evil intention. And the whole point of this video is that I just hate going out of my way to ask people for help because of this very reason. And it just was a big turnoff to me. I was like, man, I even told my wife, I was like, is this how a lot of women are today? And she broke it down for me pretty much like I said, oh, she probably, her being a woman, she probably didn't want to approach you like that. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, no, that's stupid. Because I literally was asking her for help. I was not a kidnapper. I'm not trying to get her number. I don't care about her. And the way she looked like a lot of these Instagram models, these young girls out here wearing yoga pants, wearing tights, showing off what they got. She looked like she's not to be trusted or respected anyway. But I was only asking her for help. And it's sad that in some cases, you have to go to adults who looks well-mannered, that is actually willing to help you before going to a young teenager or a young adult. Because a lot of these young adults out here, which is what I'm going to make a future video on, a lot of people in Gen Z and this generation, a lot of them are stuck on their phones. A lot of them are stuck in La La Land. They're very entitled, obnoxious, stuck up. Somehow a lot of them, especially women, thinks that the world is beneath them, especially men. And me being a man, I am taught in many forms, in different ways, that it's every man for himself. I have to help myself. I can't ask nobody for help. So based off that experience alone, it has taught me that everybody's not going to look out for a man. A woman, sure, depending on how she looks, how she carries herself. Because there was a time where my wife was outside, and this was a few years ago. She had a doctor's appointment, I believe. And there was a homeless lady. She was white. And she was begging people for money. And my wife witnessed that there was just a lot of white people that were acting stuck up, passing the white woman. You would think, oh, because, a person's race is going to mean something, we got to look out for each other. No, that was not the case. The poor white woman was asking and begging people for money. She looked like she was homeless from what my wife described. And All the other white people that passed her by, all the pedestrians, they acted stuck up, snarky. They did not look at her once. They ignored her. They did not help her. They didn't give her a helping hand. They didn't say, let me buy some food for her. Let me offer her a meal. Nobody didn't do anything. My wife was the only one. My wife, being black, was the only one that went out of her way to help the poor woman out. The woman was so thankful for my wife for helping her. She didn't look at her race. She didn't say, ugh, this white woman is asking other people for help. I'm pro-black. I'm not helping her. No, she didn't do that. She didn't act like that. God looks at the heart. So my wife went out of her way to help the woman out. And I would have done the exact same thing. Because I'm not gonna, because of my experience, that does not mean I'm gonna go off my way to help people out. If someone genuinely wants to help, I would help them because I would want someone else to help me out the exact same way. The same way how I'm treating other people, how I'm going out of my way to help other people out, I would expect other people to do the same thing for my children, the same thing for my mom, the same thing for my dad, the same thing for a relative. Anybody I would want the best for. I want the best for everyone because it sucks when you're stuck, you're lost, and you don't have no one else to turn to at the moment but a stranger. There's a lot of strangers out there. Of course, they can't be trusted because you don't know them. They're a stranger. But it's also on how you approach, your approach, and who you approach. And of course, there's a stigma of men being told based on society standards and norms that you being a man, you are on your own. So it's very few to come by that will help you out. And of course, there's many cases people came out of their way to help me, small gestures, hold the door for me when my hands was full. But I'm talking about when you're lost, when you're in a time of need. A lot of people are going to treat you like crap. And there's some people that will be willing to help you. But long story short, this is from my experience with the college chick, this is why I hate asking other people for help. Because the power is all on them now. The power is in their court. And there's some people that are very obnoxious, grimy, where they're like, they will use something against you in favor of a return. Like, what's in it for me? No, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to bribe somebody when they're asking you for help. That's crazy. I don't even believe in doing that. That's scummy. That's scum. And that goes to show you that young chick's mindset. She acted very arrogant, obnoxious. And I bet you she was one of those chicks, probably have an OnlyFans, probably a hoe. She was so invested in her phone than to help someone out that was in a time of need. Thank God I ended up finding the bookstore on my own. And I told myself, I'm like, this is the exact reason why I hate going out of my way to ask other people for help, especially a stranger. And she was one of the few people that was around. I just wanted the help to know where the bookstore was on the Trident Technical College campus. That's all I wanted. But she made it hard. I just drove away and I was pissed off. And I was like, be careful how you treat people. Because there's going to be a time where she's going to get hers. She's going to be in the same situation. And I don't wish for the worst for anybody, but there could be a situation where the guy she's asking for help from plays her, could use her potentially and get rid of her. And she'll get pissed off. God could put you in some situations where he humbles you to change. And if it's not the easy way, it's going to be the hard way. Just be very careful of how you treat people. And this is why I'm pushing myself to get myself together. Do what I'm supposed to do. To not have to always go out of my way to ask people for help. Sure, there's a time, you're in a time of need. I get it. It's all on your mannerism, how you approach people, and it's who you approach. And I understand things happen. There is things that happens in life, but it's also on the part that you play too. We all play a part on our decisions, on our choices, which leads to the future. And it leads to consequences as well, depending on the decisions that we make, if it's the wrong decisions. Okay? The parts that we play in the present determines what's going to happen in the future. And people just got to take their time to think about this. This is why me being the man, this pushes me to want to do better. But at the end of the day, generosity and just going out of your way to help people out, it makes the world better. So this is just my advice to some of you out there. Your grandma might be in need. You might be in need. Don't sit there, second guess yourself, and be hesitant to help someone out unless they actually look like they're up to no good. Because there are people who has evil intentions. And I get it. I'm a stranger too. I get it. Looks could be deceiving. But at the exact same time, if someone genuinely needs the help and you see it, go out of your way to help them if you can. If you can't, you can't. If you can, God could bless you too. If it doesn't come to you right away, it may go to your mom or somebody else that is also in a position of a time of need. Just got to think about it. Take your time to think about that. This is Casual Talk here. Peace out. Let me know what you think.